Whenever you're ready. Aiden McLindon is an Australian politician with enormous experience. Born in Darwin, he's a leader, been a leader since high school, a talented musician, a soldier, has a degree in government and politics, and at 17 years of age was the youngest Australian political candidate ever. In 2009 he became a member of the Queensland Parliament, then founded the Queensland Party, merged with Katter's Australian Party and led that. He had a short break from politics, but has now come back as deputy leader of the Victorian Freedom Party and candidate for Mulgrave, Premier Daniel Andrews' seat. Hello, Aiden.
G'day, Benny. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You've been involved in leadership and politics really since your work experience at age 15. Is there anything that Aiden McLindon hasn't done?
I haven't beaten Dan yet. That's on my to-do list. I actually swore myself out of politics about, now 8 years ago. So up stumps in 2013 to come back to my roots, which was Victoria, because I was raised in Whittlesea in country Victoria. I reinvented myself and became a teacher. But what I experienced, and I later did my double masters in education and leadership management. So I actually oversaw 80 schools in the Catholic system in the last 2 years, and what I saw happening with the children, the parents, the teachers, I knew it was in me that I couldn't just sit back. I found it was a duty to get back in and throw everything I've got at it, because so many people have lost everything, and to me it's personal. This is why I've set up for 40 days outside Daniel's office. The truth needs to be said, and I'm going to run straight towards the enemy, say it as it is, because I've actually got nothing to lose now. So I think Victoria needs a whole new system of politics.
You were born in the Northern Territory, spent early part of your life in Victoria, a large part again in Queensland. Now you're back in Victoria as a leader of the Freedom Party. Why have you come?
Yeah, well, I think all Dad's side was in Victoria, or Mum's side was in Queensland. So we did half the years there, half the years here. So I'm a bit of an Australian at large, to be honest. Born in Darwin, spent some time in Canberra, but I love Australia, and I think in growing up in so many different states and territories, it's given me an appreciation of, the spirit of Australia. I am sick and tired of division, even from the division that the government's put onto us, especially with our Indigenous brothers and sisters. They use these things to divide us. Whether it's cultural, sexuality, whatever it is, they'll try and constantly divide us and attack our belief system. And the most dangerous thing for any government is someone with a higher belief system. And here we are. So we're a threat.
The Freedom Party is already making big waves in Victorian politics. What is...
I'll move over here. A bit loud. Might come back this way a bit. There's a side of people. It's good.
What is freedom and why do we need it?
Look, freedom it's not just a commodity that you can sort of just say, we've got it now, we've got it for good. The reality is freedom today is more important than it's ever been, and it'll be even infinitely more important tomorrow onwards, because our freedom of thought, speech and movement, they are the three critical things that are under attack. What we think, what we say and what we do, or how we move, we saw in the last 2 years was completely shattered, and there's a lot of similarities with what's happened in a lot of communist countries over the years, and Victoria's no exception. So I think when those three fundamental elements of our being are under attack, we have a duty and a sense of responsibility to protect it. And this is a very pertinent interview on Remembrance Day. Those men and women who actually fought for our freedoms, that we have a responsibility now to continue those on, not just for ourselves, but for our incoming children.
Yeah. Now, Aiden, you're the Freedom Party candidate also for the lower house seat of Mulgrave. Why Mulgrave?
So in Mulgrave, the 80 schools that I was overseeing during COVID, 8 of those were actually in Mulgrave, and I've actually taught in Mulgrave. So I've taught in both the public and the Catholic system in Mulgrave. I understand what has happened. It's been neglected for 20 years. Daniel's been the member now since 2002. And what we've seen, I know I'm 20 minutes south of Mulgrave, but to me, as I said, this is personal. I've seen families torn apart. I've seen this two-tier society been introduced. I've seen neighbour fight neighbour, families divided, communities pitched against each other. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm a hop, step and skip away from the person that's responsible for this. It's personal, and I find it very fitting that this is my calling. The outcome is not my concern, it's the objective, and that's to ensure that he's not returned to office, and I'll do everything in my, everything humanly possible to ensure that I can make as much inroads into de-seating Anne.
It's only 2 weeks until the election. What can Victorians do to help you and the Freedom Party?
Look, the best thing they can do, it's guerrilla warfare in war terms, but in Australiana terms we call it bush telegraph. The reality is we don't have the millions of dollars that the two parties have. Unfortunately, the Liberal Party has been complicit in what's happened due to their silence. We have seen two heads of the same creature. They've operated like corporations. The Coles and Woolworths, we don't need that anymore. We need you to tell people, please go to our website, freedomparty.net.au. Go to the website, please sign up, tell people we're here. We're here to protect our jobs, our homes and our families, and they're the 3 building blocks of a successful society. Our jobs are under attack, our families are infinitely under attack, and of course our homes are getting further and further away for the next generation to be able to ever afford one. So we're going to stand up. It's a bread and butter, get back to basics, and the education system needs an overhaul. Our energy system is the next big thing on the horizon that's going to be compromised and drip fed to us like peasants, and it's going to go through the roof. So these are day-to-day life issues, and right from here, 10 minutes from the office here, we have 50,000 people at Food Bank that depend on food every day. It's an absolute disgrace. The gap between haves and have-nots is coming quickly, and please support the Freedom Party because I'm telling you now, we are the positive alternative. We'll tell you as it is. No one's paying us off. We've got nothing to lose here. It's straight from the heart.
Aiden McLindon is Deputy Leader of the Victorian Freedom Party and candidate for the lower house seat of Mulgrave. Thank you, Aiden, and good luck.
Good on you, Pete. Keep it up. Good work. Good man. Well done.